today, but the humble 1-cent coin, better known as the penny, has a fascinating story to tell. For over 2 centuries, this tiny coin has been at the center of American currency, witnessing the rise and fall of empires, the growth of a nation, and even shaping some of the world's most iconic designs. But there's more to the penny than just its small value. Some pennies are worth far more than you might imagine. So today, let's explore the 1-cent coin, its intriguing history, its modern-day significance, and the surprising worth of rare pennies that could be sitting in your pocket right now. To understand the history of the penny, we must first take a look at the birth of the U.S. Mint itself. In 1792, just a few years after the United States declared independence, the country had no official currency of its own. Coins in circulation were largely foreign, Spanish dollars, British pounds, and other international currency. So, under the direction of George Washington and the first Secretary of the Treasury, Alexander Hamilton, the U.S. government decided it was time to mint its own money. The Coinage Act of 1792 was signed into law, establishing the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia. The act authorized the minting of coins, including a 1-cent piece, which was meant to facilitate everyday transactions in the young republic. These coins were made of copper, a material that was abundant and inexpensive at the time. The very first U.S. penny was struck in 1793. This coin, known as the chain cent, featured a chain of links symbolizing the unity of the 13 original colonies. The obverse depicted a profile of Lady Liberty wearing a Phrygian cap, a symbol of freedom. However, this design was short-lived, as public criticism of the chain motif led to its replacement after just 1 year. In 1796, the chain cent was replaced by the wreath cent, which was simpler and more elegant. The new design featured Lady Liberty surrounded by a wreath of laurel leaves. This was just the first of many iterations of the penny that would evolve over the next century. As the United States grew, so did the designs of its coins. In 1837, the U.S. Mint introduced the Liberty Head Cent. This design featured a bust of Lady Liberty, a look that would remain until the 1850s. The penny of this era was larger and contained more copper, and the design became more refined over time. But the penny's most iconic design came in 1859, when the U.S. Mint introduced the Indian Head Cent. The design depicted a profile of Lady Liberty wearing a Native American headdress, a controversial choice at the time, but one that captured the spirit of America's westward expansion. This design stayed in circulation until 1909, when a new penny would be introduced to honor one of America's most famous presidents. In 1909, the United States celebrated the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth by introducing the Lincoln Cent. Designed by artist Victor David Brenner, this new penny featured a bust of Lincoln on the obverse and 2 stalks of wheat on the reverse. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a president's likeness. Today, the penny features a modern reverse design, a shield with 13 vertical stripes, symbolizing the strength and unity of the United States. The updated design was introduced in 2010, but the obverse still features Lincoln's portrait, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. But what about the penny today? How much is it actually worth in today's economy? Well, the value of the penny has drastically decreased over time due to inflation. In fact, what you could buy for a penny 100 years ago costs many times more today. The penny's purchasing power has diminished, and its role in the economy has shifted. Despite its low value, the penny remains in circulation because of its role in cash transactions. It's used for rounding prices and in certain industries, but its actual purchasing power is negligible. Interestingly, it costs the U.S. Mint more to produce a penny than the coin is actually worth, about 2.1 cents per penny as of recent estimates. Incredibly, there are more than 150 billion pennies currently in circulation in the United States. Even though their value has decreased, pennies continue to make up a significant portion of the nation's coinage. While most pennies are worth just 1 cent, there are some rare ones that can fetch astronomical amounts of money. These valuable pennies are prized by collectors for their rarity, historical significance, or minting errors. One of the most famous rare pennies is the 1943 copper penny. During World War II, the U.S. Mint switched to making pennies out of steel to conserve copper. However, a small number of copper pennies were accidentally struck in 1943. These rare coins can be worth over $1 million, making them one of the most valuable pennies ever produced. Another highly valuable penny is the 1909 SVDB Lincoln cent. This coin was one of the first pennies to feature the initials of its designer, Victor David Brenner. Due to public outcry, the mint stopped minting these coins after just a few months, making them incredibly rare today. In mint condition, these pennies can be worth thousands of dollars. So, what's the future of the penny? With the rise of digital payments and credit cards, many people argue that the penny is becoming obsolete. In fact, several countries, including Canada and Australia, have already eliminated their lowest denomination coins. In the US, debates continue over whether the penny should be discontinued. Some argue that it's costly to produce and no longer serves a practical purpose, while others believe it's an important part of American history and culture.